Hello, space pilot Mr. Cool Guy here. Well, certainly was interesting hearing about that lore, I guess you could say, wasn't it? Well, as you noticed, I'm now in Velcor's lab. I mean, you know, for a secret door, it doesn't really lead to a very big lab. Like I thought, it's like, for others it leads to just a janitor's closet, but for Velcor it leads into his lab. But maybe there's a lab on next door. As I've already stated. But, I wonder if he's able to create these things, great amazing things on a lab this size on this ship. Makes you wonder what he's able to create in a bigger lab. I can't wait to see it. Oof. Well, anyways, in the meantime, here are 10 more random facts you may or may not know. And we're going to be looking at 2 peculiar items up and close. Or up close. Starting with fact number 1. A peculiar item number 1. Psycho door. This door was used for shots of Norman Bates' house in the iconic horror movie Psycho. Adding to the grim nature of this piece, the owner of the Dolman Newell Funeral Home in Rib Lake, Wisconsin, purchased the door in the early 2000s and installed it as the front door of the business. It was also in Wisconsin where notorious killer and body snatcher Ed Gein committed the unspeakable acts that inspired the novel on which the film was based. That is wild. So, these were real events that happened, which then inspired a novel, which then inspired the movie. I mean, that's wow, that's pretty something. I mean, you do such a, like, if you're a killer and, I guess, body snatcher, and you do such heinous acts that someone's like, I'm gonna write a book on this, and then it gets adapted into a movie, like, I mean, I wouldn't be proud of what you did. The fact that it was heinous enough to get a book made about it, and then a movie made, and the movie adaptation of said book. That's wow. Yeah, that's wow. Yeah. Also, having a funeral home business on, near Rib Lake I mean, it's not like, you know, ooh, like, still. I don't know about that pairing. Hmm. Well, anyways, it's time for peculiar item number 2 and fact number 2. Rubik's Cube Joker. This rendition of Heath Ledger as the Joker is created entirely from 336 Rubik's Cubes. Artist David Alvarez has made other portrait mosaics in his collection out of post-it notes, dice, and even playing cards. That's impressive. That is, wow. Even playing cards. The man. I mean, but like post-it notes and dice. Well, okay, yeah, dice too. That's pretty stinking impressive. I mean, post-it notes. Oh yeah, that's impressive. I mean, it's a little easier to see. You know how it could be done. You know, but like dice and playing cards. I mean, I guess if you back far away enough with the dice, the black dots would seem to mesh together to make an image. You can really see the white parts of the dice in between the dots. The playing cards? Man, that's... wow. That's something. Alright, time to move on to fact number 3. The last of crust. One House Bakery in Benicia, California made a clicker monster out of bread. The shop's owners, mother and daughter duo, Hannah Lee and Catherine Pervan, were inspired by the TV show The Last of Us. Their zombie-like clicker stands in front of a fungi-covered wall, almost made of bread. Titled The Last of Crust, the sculpture took more than 400 hours to make and includes more than 1,000 bread mushrooms. To make the fungi, the team wrapped inflated balloons in the dough. Once baked, the balloons were popped and removed. This was not One House Bakery's first bread sculpture. They make one every year for a local contest. Past sculptures have been based on fan favorites such as Star Wars and Loki. That's impressive. Like, a whole sculpture like that made out of bread. I mean, like, I know you can do it out of chocolate, so, doing with bread seems like, well, you can do it with chocolate, so bread isn't that, far off. Far off of a possibility. But it's still impressive. That is crazy. Like, spending 400 hours making a sculpture out of bread. That's some dedication. Right there. Gee whiz. Well, it's time to move on to fact number 4. Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia. Feast your eyes. In 2023, an Australian food company, Forrest, grew a woolly mammoth meatball in a lab. But how did they do it? Most mammoths went extinct more than 10,000 years ago. 10,000. Despite this, mummified mammoths have been found in places like Canada and Siberia. To make the meatball, genetic information from those remains was combined with elephant DNA. Elephants are the closest living relatives to mammoths. The mix was put inside a sheep cell, which multiplied into a big hunk of meat. Sadly, or perhaps thankfully, the meatball was just made for show. Scientists weren't sure if it was safe to eat. It contained proteins that humans haven't eaten for thousands of years, and while no one tasted the giant meatball, some did smell it as it was cooked. Would you believe it? It smelled good. I mean, a cooked meatball, especially one that big, probably would smell good. You know? But, man, this, you know, wow. A mammoth meatball. I wonder what mammoth would have tasted like. Or, you know, if it would have tasted good. Probably. Who knows? They're extinct. So, we'll never know for sure. But, you know, there's probably someone out there who saw the large meatball and was like, get the pasta! Right? You know, for spaghetti and meatball. Mamma mia! That's a spicy of mammoth of all. Alright. It's time for fact number 5. Car cheat. Ultra marathon runner Josiah Zakrulewski was stripped of her third place medal in a 50-mile, 80-kilometer race from Manchester to Liverpool, England, after it emerged that she had traveled by car for part of the race. Organizers became suspicious when they analyzed GPX data and saw that she had reached a speed of 35 miles per hour, or 56 kilometers per hour, over part of the course, making her faster than Usain Bolt. Wow. Alright, apparently that's a bit too fast for a human. But I mean, wow. I mean, I've heard of using steroids or other type of drug enhancers to cheat in a competition. But I have never heard of someone using a car for part of the race. That's just... wow. Like, I mean, just so you knew you weren't fast enough to win. So what you did was get in your car and use it for part of the race so you could stay ahead of the racers. Then you took the time to park your car, get out, get back on the course, and then proceed the rest of the way on foot. But to make it look legitimate, you decided you'd only go 35 miles per hour. You decided you'd go faster than Usain Bolt's fastest speed. The fastest recorded speed ran by a human. And you thought they wouldn't see that as suspicious. They just think that somehow you broke the record for fastest human speed. That you broke the speed record of an Olympic runner. You know what? Let's just move on to fact number 6. Walking Dead. Zhu Konglu was found alive and well 9 years after it was thought he had been cremated. Family and friends thought they had identified his body after a car crash and the body was cremated. But in 2023, he stunned them by wandering into a village near Chongqing, China. So, wow. I hate imagine. Could you imagine finding out that people thought you were dead for 9 years? Right? I mean, imagine seeing someone you thought was dead for 9 years. You thought you cremated them, and then you see them walking about. You'd be freaked out. Like, what the? No, you're supposed to be dead. You should be cremated. What? What do you mean? I am alive and well. I've been alive and well for 9 years. I just haven't been around. Cremated? What are you talking about? We identified your body in a car crash. We were sure it was you. We had a funeral and everything. You were cremated. I don't remember dying. You thought it was me? You didn't make real sure that it was me before you had a funeral and assumed you cremated me? That would be awkward. Wow. Anyways, on to fact number 7. Guards fooled. Cesar Ortiz escaped from a jail in Asunción, Paraguay, by walking through the front gate, disguised as a woman. His long hair, wig, fake eyelashes, lipstick, fake fingernails, and woman's clothes fooled the guards at several checkpoints. Okay, the fact that worked says 2 things. One, the guards had to have been oblivious as heck to not notice. Two, the fact that you were able to fool them, the fact that you, a man, were able to fool them into thinking you were a woman. Because you picked out the perfect disguise so well, they had no way of telling you were a man. I take that as an insult. Like, that he had to be worried that it wouldn't work. And the fact that it worked through several checkpoints, at some point, he'd have to be confused as to how it was working. Right? You'd have to look in the mirror and realize he don't look like a man. His disguise works so well. He genuinely looks like an actual woman to the guards. Like, right? Either that or they were just messing with it. Right? They saw how pathetic his attempt at the disguise was, and they wanted to see how long before he just gave up. Right. Like, you know what? We're gonna move on to fact number 8. Lots of layers. 19th century British aristocrat Sir Tatton Sykes used to wear up to 8 coats at a time, all of slightly different sizes. He liked to maintain a constant body temperature. When he felt too warm, he would remove one layer and allow it to fall to the ground. Local boys would collect his discarded coats and return them to his Yorkshire home for a small reward. I mean, yeah, that's the way to maintain a constant body temperature. Wearing 8 coats at a time of different sizes, right? I mean, that it would be hard to get 8 coats on, you know. I mean, and then, you know, having to button all of them, probably had to have help, you know, but hey, you know, if that's what you gotta do to maintain your body temperature, then that's what you gotta do. Well, anyways, it's time for fact number 9. Sky-high sandals. A pair of Steve Jobs brown suede sandals sold at auction in 2022 for $218,750. He wore them at his home in Los Altos, California, where he co-founded Apple. The footbeds of the sandals still retain the imprint of his feet. costs more than the average person's grocery bill. That costs more than getting a full tank of gas. It is a pair of sandals, but it cost way more than the glasses on your face or the shirt on your back, because it was worn by Steve Jobs. It was worn by a famous person. If I sold a pair of sandals, you know how much I would get for that? Not $200,000. That's for sure. I could maybe get $10, $15. You know what I could do with $200,000? I could rent a house. Not any house, but a house. Like maybe a small house. With $200,000, I could pay for more than a week's worth of groceries. Multiple weeks. Who in their right mind is paying $200,000 for a pair of sandals? Oh, right, I forgot. We have rich people who will pay out the wazoo for the most extravagant things. Right. Can't forget about them. Anyways, let's move on to fact number 10. Skip wedding. Soccer player Mohamed Bouya Touré did not attend his own wedding in Sierra Leone because he was finalizing his transfer to Swedish club Malmo. He asked his brother to stand in for him at the ceremony, and the wedding pictures show his brother cutting the cake with the bride. Like, okay, having someone stand in for you at your wedding because, like, your flight got delayed or something, right, and you weren't going to be able to make it on time to said wedding, that's one thing. But not being at your own wedding because you're often, because you were busy transferring to this other club. Like, you couldn't have waited to transfer? Like, you set your date for the wedding, right? You knew when you were gonna have to be there to get married. You planned it in advance. And you decided, you know what? I know it's real close to the wedding date, but I've got time to go transfer to this club. I'm sure I'll be able to arrive on my wedding day at the proper time to not need a stand-in. But just in case, I should probably get my brother to stand in for me. Like, you couldn't have waited? Alright. Well, there you have it. There's 10 random facts you may or may not have known, but you know now. If you like this, then leave a like. And if there was any of these facts that you knew, then comment down below. And if you have any additional information on these facts you'd like to share, then put it in a comment down below. Who knows, you may surprise old space pilot Mr. Cool Guy. I'm old. I'm not old. Not that I needed to specify that, but well, yeah. And why not subscribe if you want to keep coming back for more videos? It would really help me out. And why not hit that notification bell so you can be extra notified as soon as one of these drops. And share this with others so they have the chance to hear these facts that you just heard, that you enjoyed so much you wanted to share it with others. Alright. Well, I'm Space Pilot Mr. Cool Guy, and as I always say, when it comes to the facts, to infinity and more facts.